In a world of crumbling empires and warring Caesars, one man rose from the ashes of chaos to forge a new destiny for Rome. His name was Constantine. Before him, Rome was tearing itself apart. A system of 4 rulers known as the Tetrarchy had collapsed into a brutal civil war. Generals and usurpers vied for control, and the empire bled. From this desperate struggle, Constantine emerged, not just as a soldier, but as a force of history. He wasn't born to be the sole emperor, but he would take it by force, ambition, and divine will. His journey to ultimate power began with a gamble, a march on Rome itself against a superior foe, Maxentius. The fate of the Western Roman Empire would be decided at the gates of the Eternal City, at a small crossing called the Milvian Bridge. The odds were stacked against him. His army was smaller, weary from a long campaign through Italy. Victory seemed impossible. But on the eve of this decisive battle, as the sun dipped below the horizon, something extraordinary happened. Constantine looked to the heavens and saw a sign. A symbol of divine power blazed across the sky. Accounts differ. Some say it was a cross of light, others a Chi-Rho monogram. Below it, the words, "In hoc signo vinces," "In this sign you shall conquer." This was not just a premonition, it was a command. Constantine, a man who understood power and destiny, ordered this sacred symbol to be painted on the shields of his soldiers. The next day, armed with iron and a newfound faith, his legions crashed against the forces of Maxentius. The battle was ferocious, a clash of steel and will. But Constantine's army fought with a fervor their opponents could not match. They broke the lines, shattered the enemy's resolve, and drove them back into the Tiber River. Maxentius, caught in the panicked retreat, was thrown from the bridge and drowned by the weight of his own armor. Constantine marched into Rome not just as a conqueror, but as a liberator chosen by a higher power. The Senate hailed him as the Senior Augustus, the supreme ruler of the West. He had done the impossible. He had unified a fractured empire under his sole command, but his vision extended far beyond the battlefield. He saw that Rome, the old capital, was steeped in pagan traditions and political intrigue. To build his new world, he needed a new center of power. He chose a place of immense strategic importance, the ancient Greek city of Byzantium. It stood at the crossroads of Europe and Asia, controlling the vital trade routes between the Black Sea and the Mediterranean. Here, on this peninsula fortified by nature, he would build his eternal city. This wasn't just a new capital, it was to be Nova Roma, a new Rome. For years, immense resources were poured into its construction. Palaces, forums, hippodromes, and magnificent churches rose from the ground. He adorned it with treasures and monuments taken from across the empire, a testament to its grandeur. He named it Constantinople, the city of Constantine. For over 1,000 years, it would stand as the heart of the Byzantine Empire, a bastion of Christian civilization, art, and learning long after the western half of Rome had fallen. But Constantine's most enduring legacy was not built of stone and mortar. It was a revolution of the soul. Before him, Christians were a persecuted minority, their faith outlawed, and their followers hunted. Constantine changed everything. In 313 AD, with the Edict of Milan, he declared religious tolerance throughout the empire. Christianity was no longer illegal. This act didn't just end the persecutions, it fundamentally altered the course of Western history. He showered the church with favor, building grand basilicas like the original St. Peter's in Rome. He elevated bishops to positions of influence and convened the Council of Nicaea to unify Christian doctrine, laying the foundation for the faith as we know it today. He wielded the cross not just as a symbol of personal faith, but as an emblem of imperial power, merging the authority of the state with the moral force of the church. This fusion created a new kind of empire, the Holy Roman Empire's spiritual predecessor, and set the stage for the entirety of the Middle Ages. He was a master strategist, a ruthless politician, and a visionary builder. He found Rome on its knees, a dying giant plagued by internal division, and he breathed new life into it. He shifted the empire's center of gravity eastward, ensuring its survival for another millennium. He embraced a faith that would come to define Western civilization. Constantine wasn't just an emperor, he was an architect of the future. a pivotal figure whose decisions echo through the centuries. He stood before his new city, Constantinople, a victor not just over his enemies, but over history itself. His legacy is immortal, his impact unstoppable. Thank you for watching. If you want to explore more titans of history, be sure to like this video and subscribe to the channel. We'll see you next time.